Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Down the Rabbit Hole. It is November 17th, 2025 at the time of this recording. If we want to get technical, it's 2:59, almost 3 o'clock too at the time of this recording. I am in my living room. Yes, I am in sweats. Do I care? Not really. Should I care that my hair's in a what is whatever it's looking like right now? No. This is a podcast. It's my podcast, and I decided I don't feel like looking pretty. But it's a good thing you're only here for the content of what I'm talking about today, right? But if you're new here, hit that like button, ring that bell for notifications. Also, please subscribe. Help a girl out. I hope everyone is planning on having a great Thanksgiving, a safe Thanksgiving. Iron Bowl weekend is approaching, and y'all already know who I'm rooting for. War Eagle, baby. On top of that, I want to say, hey, Alabama, is Oklahoma your daddy? Since you're seen to be Georgia's daddy, is Oklahoma your daddy now? I'm just saying. Texas, Oklahoma can't beat Texas. Texas can't beat Georgia. Georgia can't seem to beat Alabama. And Alabama can't seem to beat Oklahoma. Just saying. I think there's a cycle going on that we need to pay attention to here. Anyway, now that I get my little roasting of Alabama out of the way, let me dive into today's episode, shall we? Today we're going to be talking about the Oakland mansions here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. A little backstory is that I actually am from Alabama. I grew up. I basically spent most of my years in Demopolis, Alabama. Okay, and my hair looks like. We're just gonna go with the hair. Okay, I I don't care today, honestly, about the hair part. If I'm being honest. But yeah. So with that being said, um, if you're new here, hit that like button, ring that bell for notifications. Also, please subscribe. Help a girl out. But I live in Tennessee now, so with that, I moved here almost 3 years ago, and I love it. It's very good for my mental health. I feel like I've gotten more podcast stuff done too, and like my mind's just freer. Do I wish I had a paralegal or office job? Yes. Am I just at the point where I'm not as hurt anymore if I don't get a paralegal job? Yes. But anyway, maybe we should talk about a historical house museum that's here located in the city I live in. What are we doing? Hello. Welcome to Down the Rabbit Hole. Don't know what happened with my camera. It froze up on me. That's okay. Anyway, why don't I dive into the Oakland's mansion? Okay. Since I did my little 3-minute rant when I first started, you could care less about that. I know you can. But anyway, Oakland's mansions, I have actually never been here yet. When I first moved up here, I literally like did not get around to going to visit. Also because I was looking at free places, if I'm being honest. I'm cheap, don't judge. Um anyway, Oakland Mansions is a historic house. It's also a lot of people have gotten married here. But it's a historic house museum located in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. It is on the National Register for the Historic Places and is a local landmark known for its unique Italiante design. Now, the plantation was called during the Civil War, and officers from both the Confederate and Union stayed in the mansion. The most notable visitor of the home was the Confederate President Jefferson Davis, who stayed at Oakland's December 12th to December 15th. 1862, and which was accompanied by his aide, George Washington Curtis Lee, son of Confederate General Robert Edward Lee, who, and other notable visitors were former U.S. First Lady Sarah Childress Polk, United States Senators from Tennessee, and the 1860 Constitutional Union Party's nominee for the President of the U.S., John Bell. Now, Confederate General Braxton Bragg, Confederate Lieutenant Genora Leonidas Polk, and Confederate Naval Commander Matthew Fontaine Murray and Confederate Brigadier General George Manny as well have stayed here. Now, during the First Battle of Murfreesboro on July 13th, 1862, um, I'm so sick of being sick, guys. But anyway, Confederate cavalrymen under Nathan Bradford Forrester surprised and defeated the Federal forces encamped on the front lawn of the mansion near the plantation spring of the Rutherford County Courthouse, part of a raid on the Union occupied Murfreesboro. And it is said that Lewis and Adelaide Manning um, children watched the fighting in the window of the second floor hallway. And after the surrender was signed, both armies agreed, gathered for a meal for black eyed peas and sweet potatoes. If that's not the most southern thing, I don't know what is. Like, this is the South for crying out loud. But Colonel William Deptford of Ninth Michigan Infantry was severely wounded, captured at the Confederates during the early parts of the battle, and he was taken into the house and nursed by the Manning family. And at noon, he was made prisoner by Forrest, but in his helpless condition, he was released upon his parole and promised not to bear arms against the Confederate States until regular regularly exchanged. Now, Mrs. Duffield was a guest at the Maney home, while her husband covered for several months. The Duffields and the Maneys also became friends with the Colonel's recuperation after the Duffields presented the Maneys as a civility service to gratitude for their hospitality and their care for the Colonel. Now, the residential owner of Oaklands, was a Miss Rebecca Jetton, who moved out of the house in the 1950s when she no longer could maintain it, and the abandoned mansion was vandalized and left in disrepair. The city of Murfreesboro acquired it in 1958 with the intention of tearing it down, but the mansion was restored under the original grandeur by a group of women who rallied together to form the Oaklands Association, and the house reopened to the public as a museum in the early 1960s. Now receives thousands of visitors annually, and they offer one free day a year. And you can use it for various public and private functions. My boss actually got married there a few years ago, without crying out loud. But yeah, I do plan on going to visit one day. I'm excited to do it. But that is it for this episode. Join me next time as we talk about Tannersburg Village. And happy Thanksgiving, y'all, by the way, and War Eagle.